we remember to our benefit, and perhaps we learn. We forget why the corner outside is called Samuel Battle Plaza. We forget that he saved the life of a white officer who had shot a black man there in 1919. We forget that 8 years earlier, in 1911, Samuel Battle fought his way into the NYPD. We forget that Samuel Battle endured isolation, threats, and was displayed on the street like a carnival attraction. We forget that Sam Battle had to outperform his white colleagues because he carried his race on his shoulders. And we forget that at the close of a remarkably illustrious career for anyone of any race, Sam Battle hired Langston Hughes to write his biography. Langston Hughes, iconic poet of the Harlem Renaissance. Langston Hughes, who heard the tom-toms cry and the tom-toms laugh. Langston Hughes, who told his fellow citizens, "I too sing America." Langston Hughes, whose ashes are interred in the floor of this atrium. Here we are, here with Sam Battle heroically swinging a nightstick just outside.
That's right.
And Langston Hughes at our feet, lyrically encapsulating the Black experience by speaking of rivers. Theirs was a partnership doomed, above all, by the refusal of publishing houses to market a book with a strong Black hero who challenged the day's prevailing racism. So we forgot to our detriment. And now perhaps we remember, perhaps to our benefit, and because perhaps we learned. I was privileged to have been able to channel two such towering figures, Samuel Battle and Langston Hughes, and to hope that 65 years later, I may have helped fulfill their aspirations. Sam Battle was a good man and a great man. Good men are measured by their deeds. Great men are measured against their times. Sam Battle's time predated the civil rights movement by half a century. There were no meaningful anti-discrimination laws. Oppression of blacks was so accepted that collective protest had not yet entered the imagination. So Sam Battle joined a fraternity and a sorority of extraordinary pathbreakers who struggled individually to fulfill their potentials. Some believe that fighting valiantly with Teddy Roosevelt at San Juan Hill would win America's enduring respect. Many harbored the same illusion in World War I.
That's right.
Many had faith that excellence in the arts and letters would win over white society. In 1927, the great James Weldon Johnson wrote, "I am coming to believe that nothing can go farther to destroy race prejudice than the recognition of the Negro as a creator and contributor to American civilization." He was an optimist, as were so many others. Why? Why were they optimists? How could they live in optimism? Perhaps theirs was an optimism born of desperation, an optimism without which there would have been utter hopelessness. Sam Battle, too, was an optimist, Even in his worst hours as a cop, he believed unshakably that the better angels would prevail. And he held true to the end of his life, even after, distinguished man that he was, a restaurant in Virginia denied him service, and a beach in the Carolinas refused him entry when he took young Tony on a coming-of-age trip to the South. I am deeply gratified that so many of you have gathered to help celebrate the life and the spirit of Samuel Jesse Battle. We are people of different races, experiences, political beliefs, and walks of life. We are New York. We are America. Your presence testifies to individual commitments to social justice. You are ministers of numerous denominations, and you are a cardinal of the Roman Catholic Church. You are a Democratic governor, Cuomo, working on sentencing reform for juvenile offenders. And you are the Republican majority leader of the state Senate, Flanagan, who agreed to greater grand jury openness. You are a police commissioner, Bratton, who is rebalancing enforcement, devising a cutting-edge model for police-community relations, and working to bring the proportion of blacks on the police force into line with the city's population, while holding crime at record lows. You are a state attorney general, Schneiderman, who's been given discretion for special prosecution in police shooting cases. And you are district attorneys of Manhattan, Vance, and Brooklyn, Thompson, who are adjusting the strength of your prosecutions for low-level offenders. You are a state chief judge who is seeking sentencing reform. You are the leaders of CUNY, Milliken, and Fordham, McShane, who are striving to close the achievement gap. You are an African-American Congressman, Rangel, who showed the way, and you are a former governor, Patterson, who was an historic first. You are newspaper publishers and editors, Zuckerman and Myler of the Daily News, Tatum of the Amsterdam News, Wells of Positive Community, and Watkins of the Daily Challenge, who know that we forget to our detriment, remember to our benefit, and perhaps learn. And you are so many others, too many to mention. Often our relations are contentious, but our differences are less in goals than in methods, as we struggle with how far America still has to go. Not to take down the Confederate flag, not even to prevent killings like those in Charleston, but to evolve into a society both of equal opportunities and of equal physical, mental, social, educational, and financial status. Here, too, Samuel Battle can inspire. On his deathbed, as the civil rights movement was building steam, he told the young men of his family, the torch has been passed to each of them individually. And indeed, it has been passed to us. Having proven what one man can accomplish with courage, determination, and an insistence of treatment with dignity, Sam Battle added a coda to Langston Hughes' manuscript. It reads, "Not just for the Negro's sake, but for the sake of my country, I look forward to the day when all of us will do unto others as we would have others do unto us. There was Samuel Jesse Battle in ultimate optimism. I stand in awe of his unbreakable, upbeat spirit and his allegiance to that which is larger than any man, justice. I hold his optimism dear, less out of desperation because so much has changed for the better, but more out of faith that the prayer that Samuel Jesse Battle took to his grave will someday soon be answered. Thank you very much.